1, 2, punch! It's hard being a newcomer in the boxing world. Getting beaten up by other boxers, scolded by your coach whenever you lose a match, and having to constantly let down your family to the point that they won't even acknowledge you or tune into your matches. After losing so many matches, it does things to your brain. Kinda breaks you down, really. But I was determined. I'll be a great boxer. The best boxer. A champion boxer. Sweat trickled down my forehead as I faced the reflection of myself in the mirror and shadow boxed. I was shuffling to the left and swinging to the right, assaulting the air in front of me. I had an important match ahead of me today. My final match. His name was Edward Cartagino, a famous European boxer, who I challenged in an attempt to just fly to the top of the food chain. He was about 5'10", muscular, brown wavy hair, and he was fast. By fast, I mean he would throw a punch and you wouldn't even realize what happened till you got up off the floor disoriented. I could take him. I could beat him. I'll do everything I can to make it to the top. Everything. I put on my yellow and black boxing gloves and laced on my jet black boxing shoes. Edward entered the locker room while I was gearing up. He stopped and chuckled. He walked straight up to me and shoved me up against the locker room. Listen here, rookie. There's no way you can beat me. I only accepted your challenge to make a living fool out of you. I'm going to break you down and make you quit being a boxer, because sissies don't belong here. He laughed and strolled out of the locker room with such relaxation because he didn't view me as a threat. His words cut into my brain, and all I could think of from now on, till the match was over, I am a threat. I shadow boxed a few more times to warm up, and then the show lights came on and the bell rang. There I was at my corner, squaring up to Edward, gloves held high, ready to block any of his lightning-fast strikes. He quickly jetted towards me, and without even giving me a chance to react, he struck a blow to the left side of my ribs. The shock crippled me as I heard my own bones crack inside of me. As I fell, he struck a blow to my face. My head whiplashed backwards with such force that discs C8 and C7 in my spine were moved out of place. I fell onto the floor, crippled by the blow. This can't be happening to me. I am a threat. Before I finished uttering the words, he quickly bolted over me and swung downwards. He punched me straight on my chest, over my heart. I crashed onto the floor, with my heart unbeating due to the impact of the punch. I could hear the ringing of the bell, signaling that the match was over, flashes of light surrounding me, and the steps heard of his victory. I was asked if I was all right. I didn't speak. They shook me around. I didn't move. They looked into my eyes, and I didn't blink. They assumed I was unconscious, not realizing that Edward had snatched out my only hopes, my only dream, my only life. I was lifted up and brought to the locker room. No attention was brought to my slightly loose head dangling from their arms. They placed me over the locker room benches. My skin was starting to grow pale white, and the parts of my body that were struck by his hits were now black and blue. A trickle of blood slipped down the side of my mouth, hitting the floor and eventually gathering up into a puddle. 2 hours had passed, and I was still on the locker room, lifeless. Nobody knew I was here. In fact, everybody had left. They completely forgot about me. Dead in the locker room. Not until Edward walked in to grab his extra boxing gloves, still in the locker room, hung over his lustrous metallic locker. He stumbled across my body, and he chuckled just like he did before the match. He lifted me up, and I heard the opening of doors as I was being brought somewhere. What was he going to do to me? Hasn't he done enough? Cold air brushed against my body. And then I was surrounded by pizza boxes, booze, tissues, and plastic bags. I was thrown into a dumpster. Although I was lifeless, I was furious. Absolutely furious. Furious that I'd lost to him. Furious that he doesn't respect me. Furious that he desecrated my body. As I lay in the dumpster, he leaned in. Edward whispered into my pale white ear, I broke you, and you will never return to boxing. Sissies don't belong here. As he walked away, he heard the sound of trash bags being thrown against the brick-red walls. He turned around to see my pale white, black and blue body jet straight up out of the dumpster. I violently snapped and moved the vertebrae back into place. The snap and pop caused Edward to cringe as I relocated my own dislocated head into place. I lifted my head up high and looked him straight in the face and grinned. I lifted my boxing gloves in front of my face and took 2 steps before jetting towards Edward. I was faster than him, stronger than him. My moves were silent. He didn't realize what had happened till he saw my dirty glove right in his face. And then, nothing. I am a threat. Edward was never heard of again and was presumed dead. Investigation was put to an end after 2 months searching for his body. But for me, I was never looked for. My body was never found. No one remembered me. The arena was closed off after there had been constant reports of boxers missing after matches. Well, for those boxers, all they heard before seeing me was, I am a threat.